Excuse me. Let's go ahead and do this shit. I was going to play the Xbox version, but because I'm pretty much almost done with the story missions, quote unquote, I figured I'd go ahead and try to finish up this version, and I might play something else after, because I'm kind of burnt down on playing this, to be honest. But anyway, let's go ahead and actually play this for a while. I don't know how long, but I know there's a number of missions for the DLC show, which I actually bought the other day, I think. This game is so much easier compared to Xenoverse 2, if I'm going to be honest. And that's mainly because the transformations in this game actually give you infinite ki. So you can basically spam ultimates. And probably one of the best ones, at least in this game, is the one that you get from Nappa. Only problem is that you'll be such at a low level to get that shit. But if you go through it with a DLC character and RNGesus is in your favor, you actually can get it and pretty much trivialize a lot of the game. And yes, I made sure to make sure that the custom character name is spelled correctly. Link. Alright, let's I think there's 4 or 3. Oh yeah, I also have to turn off the audio because the there's no way to turn off the voice volume from the PS4 DualShock controller. It's a cool feature, but I really wish there was a way to turn it off. Yeah, look, lock on, not lock in. By the way, I might do some Back 4 Blood, maybe. I haven't played that in a while. But I know for a fact that the progression in that game is somewhat easier. Mainly due to the fact that you can actually quit out when you reach the next safe house. Or whatever. So I'll probably try doing that later. But yeah, Giant Storm. You get this and any of the transformations, and you just basically win the game. There is only maybe a couple of missions that are annoying because of the so fucking horrendous AI that these games have to offer, but it's it's legit. I've been able to get through this game just by doing that move, and then it's even easier once you get the what the hell is it called? The super transformation. I can imagine it works wonders against the baby. The Great Ape Baby. Okay, I guess this one doesn't do the area effect attack after the stamina gets restored. I guess that was something for Xenoverse 2. Hey look, it's a fucking pre-order character that you can't get anymore. I fucking hated that about this game, by the way. It's like, okay, you can... There was a pre-order bonus for this game, and you got that character, and I think some extra armor and shit that you cannot physically get anymore. It's fucking retarded. Locking a whole-ass character in a game like this as a pre-order bonus. It's just fucking shitty-ass design. Even with the season pass that they released, it doesn't include this fucker. It would have been at least nice if they let you get it, but no. That's like one of the main reasons I kind of was hesitant on playing this version, but gotta let bygones be bygones and just enjoy it for what it is. And just try to go for this as quickly as possible. I'm not really caring about ranks or whatever, I just want to get the stories done or whatever. But there are definitely some things this game kind of did better, but I can definitely see why people prefer the sequel compared to the original. Mainly with the whole GT pre-order bonus bullshit. They can't even get anymore, unless you play on PC, because of course. But I'm not going to really get into that, because it's just, well, whatever. But yeah, the lack of key usage when you use ultimates or whatever with transformations, if I word that correctly, it just makes the game way too fucking easy. Especially with this super move or whatever, the ultimate, that just completely cleans fucking house, legit. I wanted to get the perfect Kamehameha because I know that's like one of the best moves in the game. But unfortunately, trading with Cell just takes way too long, and this, just look at this. I'm knocking out enemies left and right. I'm not even trying, like, legit. I'm going as how Mr. Sparrow says, going 0.0%. I think I'm KOing, like, 4 enemies at once. And this has to be a... Oh, shit. Alright. Sorry about that. Anyway, but yeah, Giant Storm breaks this fucking game like a twig. Like, legitimately a fucking twig. I also came close to dying, but the clutch is just so unreal. Like, it's insane. Not to mention, there's almost like a pseudo infinite combo with that move or whatever. Just smashing light and heavy or whatever until I get that particular move or whatever. I don't get it. Also, make sure to stock up on regen capsules and the key one as well. The HUD in this game is so bare compared to Xenoverse 2, honestly. It's almost like a beta. Xenoverse 2's HUD is way fucking better. But yeah, I'm gonna basically try to get through these, maybe do the parallel quests you have to do by talking to people, because that's actually one thing about this game that definitely kind of made the custom creation a little more holding its weight or whatever, and that you actually have to talk to people within Toki City, I think it's called. I don't know the exact name, but basically it's the hub world. It's very weird to describe, like you can't fly in it, which traversing around gets annoying. NPCs legit have randomized spawns for some reason, especially with the trainers. It's very annoying. I don't know why they did that. It actually makes leveling up very annoying. Actually got a Z rank. Good shit. I'm also playing this on PS4. The load times are actually not terrible. Like, I'm shocked. The load times are not completely awful. Like, it's not PS4 Pro, it's not whatever PS5. Like, just base PS4, and load times are actually pretty good. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest. The load times are actually not terrible. The frame rate is fucking terrible on the console version. That was definitely one thing I absolutely remember making a big stink about, is that this game was also released on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and that ran at 30 frames, which I can kind of understand, but then when the console versions for the Xbox One and PS4 hit, and that ran at 30, but the PC could have the better frame rate, I was like, what the fuck? That's just, it's kind of bullshit, to be honest. I can definitely tell this game does run at 30. I guess you can say my eyes kind of got adjusted to it or some shit. But it's still not exactly acceptable, to be honest. You also have these really weird Shenron looking motherfuckers with their big pink lips that if they were blackface or people be pissed off, but I'm not gonna really talk about that. You can clearly tell this was based on like some really 60s African American looking motherfuckers. And I also apparently found out that these characters are based on Fire and Ice. I'm not sure where the Nuova comes from, but Ice definitely does sound like ice, which is interesting. So that's good. Wait, there's only 3 of these, actually, so it shouldn't be too bad. But I've also been dumping all my points in the key and the key blast ultimates, since obviously the perfect Kamehameha is probably one of the best in the game, due to the fact that it actually is legit unblockable. The only problem is that you can't get it unless you do the training with Cell, which takes quite a bit of time. And even when you do use it with Cell, it's kind of effective, but not really, since you can't charge of him. I'm guessing it's an intentional balance. Yeah, okay, LOL balance. But it's But yeah, this just like makes the game turn to a fucking cakewalk. Like it's not even funny. And I actually kind of enjoy it in that very specific way. Like, it's perfectly fair by the game's rules. It's just, I don't know. It's, playing as literally any other race is like a, handicap, I guess, and that's kind of shitty. The only thing you have to worry about occasionally is just recharging your key and even utilizing one of the moves I have, which is Rise to Action, which actually replenishes your stamina, which is still pretty good. There definitely were some levels, though, that I kind of struggled a bit. Most of it was the parallel quest, but after getting after finally getting maximum charge or whatever, the game definitely did turn to a legitimate cakewalk. Maybe like one or two failures, but nothing like having to retry a bunch. I've actually had to restart one of the parallel quests a lot more because I kept getting the unfavorable RNG. But yeah, look at this shit. It's technically not unblockable, but I think you're pretty much invincible throughout it, I think. I can't imagine this game being balanced at all in PvP. If it is, it's kind of surprising. But yeah, the last story mission, quote unquote, and I'm going to bring up the Xenoverse ONE wiki, which actually does exist, which is good. But it also has a list of missions that are on there, and I'm going to find the ones that you have to talk to people to trigger it up. I know one of them is Teen Gohan. I think it's his name. The final battle against all three supervillains. Alright. And yes, I decided to don the 4-star Dragon Ball office, since it technically does give you the best stats, I guess. I don't think QQ bangs are a thing in this game. They didn't come till Xenoverse 2. But yeah, even with this still doing whatever, I'm still technically doing both damage to Super Baby and Super 17. Or whatever the fuck he's called. Great 8 Baby. Whoops, whatever. Shoot me. I also got Psychic Move, even though it is nowhere near as good as Hyper Movement, but it's the closest thing that is in this game. There is that one other evasive move I can't remember, but I think it's Kid Boo's, I think. It does give you Ki, which is good, but there's just something about that Hyper Movement that if I'm not using it, it's, I'm not playing the game. It's way slower. I don't think it does any damage. Like, legit, it does no damage, I think. Of course, that's the most cliche writing ever. It's like Sonic. It's like Sonic tier writing where I have the ultimate power and I can't win. What the fuck? It's just fucking stupid, but I'm not gonna really get into that. But yeah, I think another reason I might have failed a mission is that one of the AI opponents end up dying, unfortunately, and that is a fail state if your partner ends up dying. One of the earlier missions, though, is really fucking stupid in that regard. Because you're going to take on, like, 20 dudes, and you're actually using Ginyu's body, and it's like... You don't really have any tools to fight the enemies with, and it's just annoying. You have to take out a good amount of enemies. Yeah, a good amount of enemies. There we go. And there's no counter on the screen, so it's kind of annoying. That is something that Xenoverse 2 also fixed. In missions where to take out multiple enemies, there's actually a counter on the screen. So that kind of annoyed me, which is why I decided to play on the Xbox. That mission is kind of low-key time-consuming. But yeah, we did all the story missions. Yeah, yippee. Might be something else that I'm missing, but I don't think there's any trophies for the DLC. It's just kind of surprising. Alright, let's go and let's go on the wiki, I guess. So pretty much this is done, which is good. I actually had that done a lot quicker than I thought. Not even a half hour. Or just under 25 minutes at best. Okay, let's go to parallel quests. Oh, there was another one, I think. There was actually one that showed, like, oh, you have to talk to this person first to get it. And that's what I'm looking for. I usually put XV1 parallel quest, although for some reason I've been getting, like, Final Fantasy 16 results, which is amazingly funny to me. Yeah, Gohan Teen, I think. Yeah, so I guess I'll just go from here, I guess. It's actually not that many, I think. Gohan, Android 17, Goten, I did that one, number 32. That's the one people get really annoyed at. Oh, this is... Yeah, Xenoverse 2. Okay, fuck that. But yeah, there's actually a good number of these. We have to do it solo the first time. And then after, you can just kind of do whatever. So I guess I'll just go from the order, I guess. So we'll just talk to Gohan, I guess. So I guess while I do this, I suppose I could basically reflect in the year, I guess, and I forgot to level up, son of a bitch. Oh well. Let me get the tabs open for the ultimate finish. That's another thing, actually. This game's RNG is so fucking shitty that even getting ultimate finishes are not even guaranteed, even if you somehow fulfilled the requirements. It's really, really fucking stupid. And thankfully, there's no DLC parallel quests you have to talk to people, so there's only maybe 5 missions I have to do, including this one. So hopefully OBS won't completely fuck up, and I can reminisce about the year, I guess, while I probably no doubt get my ass wrecked. Legit. I think I did a video talking about it, which hopefully I can get it up tomorrow. But I did want to bring up about the whole XCOM shit. I actually haven't been using it for a good while. You can kind of tell because I haven't been as annoyed, I guess, because there's just a lot of dumb takes on there that people can get clout and credit for, and it's just fucking annoying. Getting into really stupid arguments with people because of the shit I said. Which technically, yes, you can kind of take it as me being stupid, but it's, I don't know, it's, people think that the game having fan service, a Dino Crisis remake, and people will be like, they'll be won over because Capcom just, like, gave people what they wanted when... I legit remember G-Man Live saying that we don't need a Resident Evil 4 remake, but now that it's actually out, I guess it's somehow made people's expectations go different. Whatever. Now they sing a completely different tune. It's just like, I have absolutely no nostalgia or bias for Dino Crisis, but yet people just like they gush over the fact that we're getting a remake of a game that has hardly been ported to anything really, unless you want to count the PC. But I guess people don't want to deal with having to find a repack of an old game that people like, I guess. And then the rest of the games, I think, were I think one was on the Xbox, and it doesn't look anything like a Dino Crisis game. Could be wrong on that. Or that whole Dead Rising Deluxe remaster shit. Which one in the comments, I forget which one it was, but it's you disabled likes in the video or some shit, and that I forget exactly what it was. It was something along that first part, but it's just like, I just want people to have a decent remake of a game that people actually like, and yet I'm not going to be sold if it's nothing but fan service, dude. Like, there's a reason why shit like Fire Force gets fucking memes to hell and back. Because it just kind of goes a little overload of its fan service, and it's not... I don't want to sound like I'm patronizing or anything. Like, you can argue Senran Kagura kind of does that shit, but at the very least there's a point that Senran Kagura does, and it kind of makes sense. Like, there's times for action, and there's times to do fan service, and it's just like... A lot of these pieces of media just kind of fail at that balance. Partially of that is like with the Sonic movies, or even the Sly games now. Sly 4, where the characters just always cracking jokes despite their life being on the line. It's just fucking stupid. Like, my immersion is forever ruined because characters don't know when to fucking take shit seriously. It's fucking stupid. Like, you can have your cake and eat it too, but it's like... You know, when you want to have a story that's, like, actually decent, you know, maybe at least have some restraint a little bit and just let them tell a story or something. And even just to give the benefit of the doubt that Capcom would give Regina that twerking shit or whatever, like, the game still has to be decent, okay? It's, if the game offers nothing but fan service but everything else sucks, then what the hell's the point of playing it? Like, people say the same shit about The Witcher, or even me personally, Akiba's Strip, the original, where there's a lot to like about the game, but the main focus of the game, which is the combat, just plays like ass, and it's like, if the main part of your game does not hold up well compared to everything else, then I'm sorry, the game is kind of a failure. If you're making a first-person shooter, and the first-person shooting isn't really good, but everything else is like... you know, Godfather tier cinematic story masterpiece telling. That's a really fucking nice way to put it. Then there's no point in actually experiencing the first person gameplay. Because the main ingredient of your game is just aged terribly. Torably? Yeah, I'm Cleveland. Torably. That's terrible. Still, dude. It's, I don't think it's much to ask for Capcom to, at the very least, you know, if they want to give people the fan service with Regina or whatever, even as exaggerated as my point was, it's, they could still make a game that's decent. But people don't want that. They just want the fan service and nothing else. But then they get mad at people say that Fire Force is a meme and shit. Like, what the fuck do you want? By the way, I'm not going to really bother going for the ultimate finish. I'm going to have to try to have it up because, like I said, the RNG on this is horrible. But I know that once you do beat these the first time, you actually have the ability to replay them. So it does make the grind, quote-unquote, a lot more bearable. I also find it really funny that the characters who give the quests are actually that they have a fixed position, but not the trainers, which is just ridiculous bull honky. But speaking of bull honky, there was barely any legitimate, not constructive, yeah, not even any legitimate constructive criticism of the points that I made. It's just fucking dumb. I think even one tried to say, oh, well, if you don't like the product that Capcom is making, then go branch out and find other stuff, because, you know, the indie scene is totally reliable and shit when you have shit like Nicholas or the fucking the Escape from Tarkov developers being just assholes or whatever. And then a lot of indie games just kind of look the same in a way. Like, they always have to go for that pixel retro aesthetic that's just tiring at this point. And even the various indie first-person shooters that just want to copy Doom Eternal, and it's just fucking tiring at this point. Or even Ultra Kill or Shadow Warrior 3 or whatever the fuck. Like, I think people need to understand even the lower city of things like that can be just as malicious as the big corporations. Just people don't see it because they're under the guise of the lower citizens or whatever. It kind of sounds really fucked up. My point is that you don't have to be in a high position to be a piece of shit or just doing things that people are going to be annoyed at or whatever. Like, fucking Ultra Kill, I guarantee you, is still in early access, and it's just like, it's the most well-liked thing on Steam, and yet, can you imagine an actual AAA developer doing that shit? Like, it would be fucking burned to the stake, however to fucking say it, if they were to do that shit. It's just fucking stupid. I don't care how good you like Ultra Kill. That is fucking stupid if you want to have a game like Ultra Kill that's $25, I think. It is not even out of early access. I'll have a look after this mission just to prove a point. Game's in fucking early access still. I think the game was out for a couple of years now at this point, and it's still in fucking early access. You're essentially waiting for fucking chapters to be released at this point. Like, it's just fucking stupid. Like, can you imagine a Call of Duty game where they have to do a release or big update every time a new fucking level for the campaign gets added? That'd be really, really fucking retarded. Like, I don't think people should support that sort of thing, honestly. You're essentially paying for an open beta, and that's just really, really shitty. You're essentially paying for an open beta, and some of these can go for really high prices too. So I don't think that just find another avenue of games to look for is anything better when even early access games can be... It's just basically an excuse to be lazy with your fucking games. And it's not even a fucking exaggeration either. There was one dude who I guess technically mentioned about the whole Doom thing, whatever. He thought that I had censoring, even though it's censoring with a U in it. Which, I guess to be fair, it can be kind of a common misconception, but he actually seemed decent until he started throwing in the whole, you know, I forgot, I don't want to sound like an asshole in this word, but basically, the whole energy that I got is that, you know, if you're playing Doom on console, then you're just kind of not playing Doom proper, when the whole idea is that you want to pay for a version of Doom that isn't a complete piece of shit. And I don't care if you want to download Xandronum or whatever, like, if you're getting an official version of Doom, I would at the very least expect a proper version of it that isn't a complete fucking mess. But I guess that even people who just legit play the game complete remotely casually can't even at the very least think or consider that maybe this version of Doom that completely accesses a lot of the multiplayer levels is just a bad thing because you gave Bethesda your money. Like, are people really just simple-minded and just arrogant in a way? I guess so. And that's what annoys me. Like, people think they're right, but they're not. I'm not even right sometimes, but it's just like, there's just no middle ground or agreeing to disagree on anything. I'm like, damn, he actually didn't know anything? Like, damn, I'm gonna have to hold my NL on that. But then the conversation just, like, completely went into 180, and it's just like, I feel like I apologize to a group of people who think that they're in the right, even though they're no better. Like the people who fucking dox chibi reviews. Yeah, chibi reviews. Yeah, it kind of feels like that, but a lot less fucked up, I guess. Comparing a simple conversation to that, but still, it's just like, what the fuck? And I haven't really been posting that much in the XCOM for good reason, because people just... I think there was one tweet that I saw, I forget what it was exactly, but it just fucking annoyed me, and it just... Something just snapped to me and said, fuck, I'm not gonna bother with it. Because people just can say the stupidest shit and they get credit for it, but then if I say it, I'm just a know-nothing lowlife whose opinion is just like a lesser tier because I say it. It's just fucking crap. So as a lot of things, I just always assume unless you can prove to me that you're different. That's why I usually say that if you want to defend us, you're just a fucking fanboy, because I always attract the type of people who will defend it anyway, and they come off as fanboys anyway. So I have the call to herd so that I can actually get people who are, well, can understand what I'm saying instead of the fucking idiots who will assume the worst because I disagree with a fucking video game. So whatever. Because the only way to get through these people is to say the worst and then, like, tell them otherwise. Because people are not willing to listen to reason. So, fuck it. It's just fucking annoying. Let's see. Majin Buu and Trunks Kid. Oh yeah, I also found out that if you actually get an item from this dude, or your trainer, I believe... Oh. What the fuck? Wait, final boss? This must be some really shitty, localization. I think Shaq mentioned it. This is a dude who does the Save You a Click fighting game or whatever. He actually did some tweets talking about Blaze Blue, I think, the original, with how they fucked up Tao Kaka's localization. Which even another tweet I saw about someone saying that Amy's message in Sonic Adventure 2 in the Japanese version is more meaningful compared to the confusion that's in the English version. So it's just like, I don't fucking care anymore. Like, people can just say whatever the fuck they want and it gets like millions of clicks and shit. I'm just fucking tired of it. So I'm just gonna fucking assume the worst and only tell otherwise if they actually see through it. Because I'm tired of arguing with fucking idiots. Legit. I know it sounds really fucking rude, but there is no other way to get through people by only assuming the worst out of people. It's like the one case where guilty until proven innocent, it kind of works, I guess. Anyway, I finally got the fucking ability. Thank God. Oh yeah, you can actually select the missions if you want to try to Z rank them. Why did I say S rank? No. Alright, I finally got the fucker. Thank God. So I can finally use the overpowered ability, I guess. Yay. And I can finally swap out the Z Soul, which is this game's equivalent of the Super Souls. Except the fucking descriptions are legitimately fucking vague as shit. And they actually do affect your, they actually affect your, stats as well, which is kind of weird. I also looked up, by the way, that you can actually grind one particular outfit set, which I think is Vegeto's outfit, which might be the best stats, I think. At least on my playstyle, but I don't feel like farming more than I need to. So I don't think I'm going to bother. Hey look, it's Elder Kai, but I don't know. I'll have to wait on that, I think. Let me go ahead and buy the last piece of the outfit. Like, I had to go on Steam and shit to find a proper outfit that I wanted to assemble, since the outfits actually do make a difference in this game. I figured the 4-star Dragon Ball costume might be ideal, since it gives you extra health and makes your Ki Blast Super Zoo. It actually affects it in a good way, so I figure why not. Ah, shit, I have to change the color. I'll just set the default. And make it all default. There we go. Okay, and now for the hard part, the accessories. I have no idea what the hell to wear for an accessory, because there's no fucking gas mask in this shit. And, the only mask that is in the game that actually does cover your face is Gohan's, but it's just kind of silly looking. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and get the one that looks like the farmer hat, because why not? I could also get the Ox King's helmet, I guess. Might as well get the Gohan mask in case I change my mind. Let me pull up the guide one more time. Dress up Z. Okay. Let's see. Sedge hat, I think it's called. Yeah. Alright. Let's go ahead and see what ones might be good. Oh, does it even it has the hat on? Okay, whatever. Yeah, this one will be cool, except the feather just kind of looks silly. It's the only problem I have with it. But yeah, I was gonna get the Sandman helmet, but you actually had to grind for that, and I don't feel like doing that, so I'm not honestly sure which one to wear, to be honest. I don't know if there's like a color that can match the Sedge hat. I don't think there's a color that can match it. So I'm just gonna go with the Ox King's helmet, I guess. I don't think there's like I guess this color could work. think I might be the closest, I think. It actually does look like a really cool helmet, but the feather just kind of ruins it. Oh well. It is fitting though, considering that it's an utter destruction piece. But anyway, let me go back here. A small loan of 1 million zenny. Yes. This is actually the original Xenoverse, actually. The very original. And unlike the sequel, there's actually no time patroller medals, so you have to legitimately grind your ass off to get lots of money. Whether that's a good thing or not is, well, up to anybody, I guess. But anyway, I don't know if you caught my rambling tangent about the whole XCOM ordeal. It's, I haven't felt the need to use it in a while because people in there piss me off, and going to Blue Sky would be no better, I think. So I legitimately have not been on there in a while. I haven't gotten any notifications from that one hit tweet that I got, so whatever. Basically, but it's I guess to be fair, you can earn the regular medals through normal gameplay. It's just they crank up the prices, and the only way to farm them effectively is by doing the extra missions. I think they were originally microtransactions, then they introduced a new form of currency that is literally the super time patroller medals. Yeah, they actually call it super time patroller medals. So it's so you basically gotta pick your poison, I guess. But yeah, the original Xenoverse is really rough around the edges. But having transformations legit makes your ultimates and other abilities with have infinite use. And it almost feels like a cheat code in a way. It's like playing Resident Evil, but with the infinite rocket launcher. Almost. And now that I finally got the perfect Kamehameha, which is a legitimate unblockable super move, I basically have God mode on, legit. This is the only alpha I can think of that actually perfectly reflects the power of the stuff you can get in this game. And yes, being short and slim actually does have an impact on your abilities. There's this thing the game has where if you're playing as a woman, your ki blasts do more damage, or if you're playing as a man, your fists do more damage. Which is kind of weird considering that in this game the ki blasts are king. So I find it to be very weird. Doesn't really explain it, to be honest, but it's nothing a quick Google search can help you find the information, I guess. But I'm going to move on to something else, though, because I've actually been playing this for quite a bit. I was going to play the Xbox version, but I'm kind of burnt out on this. I'd rather just actually play something that isn't Dragon Ball Xenoverse right now. But hopefully Turok Rage Wars has been working decently. It is quite a beloved game, I guess. Though I really don't know how the hell Night Dive is going to remaster it. After they fucked up Modern Doom, no. After they fucked up Classic Doom, I legitimately have no idea how the hell they're going to remaster Turok Rage Wars for the modern audience. You take your time. I'm gonna finish up this mission. Shit. Oh yeah, there's also the Z assist thing, which for some reason the sequel did not actually move the dialogue of that at all. But basically, I guess whenever you're using a specific ultimate and you have the character as your partner, it actually does have a chance to trigger that, and it's basically the most broken shit ever. Like, it's legitimately disgustingly broken. I am tempted to do the DLC missions that I finally have a proper loadout, but I really don't want to keep playing this right now. I just want to try to finish up the quests that you have to talk to people first, so that I can just take whoever and then just go on about my day. There we go. There we go. Didn't want to make sure I died. I did not want to lose, so I had to heal. Oh no, I healed. I didn't beat the game because I healed. God damn it. My healing run has been ruined because I healed. What the fuck? It's actually a fairly long mission. Oh well. I really wish these games had like a custom parallel quest maker or some shit. But I don't think that's a thing. Okay, Glacier and Supreme Kai's World. Oh, you're having a party or something? Hopefully it's a decent occasion and not just bullshit. At least it's about a good hour, I think. Unless it's, yeah, it should be the right time frame. It's, I won't really be doing much for New Year's, but I know that it's just gonna be, the usual until around, midnight. But hopefully the gathering will go well. Sometimes family gatherings can be really annoying. Crap, I'm dead. There we go. Shit, he broke out of my block. I think. I was sunlocked. Also, notice the game does not have any indicators of enemy ki or stamina. So you can't really stamina break enemies in this game, and AI basically has unlimited ki. So, how would people be mad if you were able to, do the very thing that you can do, except you need various abilities to do exactly that. It's like when people get mad at people for playing Souls games and not playing it exactly as Daddy Dom Miyazaki intended. To be fair, you can break the game like a twig. Even just getting that one ability, I forget the name of it already. Like, I didn't really have much of a hard time going through it once I got the basics down. The game also runs at 30 frames, which is disgusting. Of course, unless you're playing on PC, then it runs at 60, because I guess the PC version has that frame rate exclusivity. Which I never really understood, to be honest. Like, I can understand the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions running at 30, but when the PS4 and Xbox One versions came out, they also ran at 30, which makes no sense. As I died. My one plan didn't even come into proper tuition. I guess that's what I get for speaking down on Big Daddy Dom Hidetaka Miyazaki. Oh no. But yeah, it's that move that Nappa has where he just like lifts his fingers and just like an explosion occurs. You can just like do that move a lot, and even without the transformations, it still does a lot of damage and it tracks pretty well. It's only when you get the transformations where the game just kind of basically beats itself. The only other problem... Yeah, Giant Storm, there you go. It's actually really good in this game. I've seen people say that Blue Hurricane was good, and I assume that it is, but it's not a key super, so you have to center a melee build around it. Like, I actually tried it. I was barely doing any damage to the enemy, so I said, screw that. I'm just going to go back to Giant Storm. There are some techniques that do work in this game and not in the sequel. And of course, vice versa. Like, I actually found out the Emperor's Death theme doesn't track nearly as good as it does in the second game. It's also not as damaging, which is kind of surprising. And you can get it so early on, too. The only problem is that you have to have characters who can basically clear it in under 5 minutes, because that's the random parallel ultimate finish requirement. I put random in there because what people actually said about the requirements being legit tied to random is correct. Because you could fulfill the requirement and the game still won't give it to you. Nice Windows sound. Especially with the wood mission where you actually have to farm, or at least when I chose to farm, if you want to unlock the post-game story missions, where you have to defeat Krillin for Goku, and the game will just not give you the ultimate, despite clearly fulfilling the objective. Which kind of doesn't make any sense. I kind of started to notice that, especially in that mission. I think it's also the same mission where you get Psychic Move, which is basically a lesser version of Hyper Movement. And I only say it because it doesn't really do anything, but it still functions the same, so I have it equipped for that reason. But speaking of bullshit, hopefully the Turok Rage Wars save, or cheats file should hopefully bring in some good nostalgia, because I really hate how Turok Rage Wars didn't let you unlock any of the medals unless you're playing with another person, and only if the players are active, I guess. The game legit does not explain at all that you have to have an active player playing the game, or whatever. The only medals you can get legit is the 4 boss medals, and if you're lucky, the co-op medal, which just doesn't make any sense to me. Which also makes even less sense because a lot of the unlockables, which is mainly the skins, are completely pointless if you're playing in single player. And the skins are just basically the exact same opponents you fight in the single player, except they just change how hard the AI is. It also makes even less sense you can't even unlock Vile, the skin for Lord of the Dead. Instead, all you get for getting all 50 medals is Teddy's, the hard mode skin for the Mantid Mites. Yeah, but there's also some medals where you need 4 people, I think. Or you have to play with bots, I think, to fill in that one spot. I don't know why you can't just do a match against bots or whatever, because you still have to be moving anyway, so I really don't understand the very stupid cryptic requirement that's not even explained at all. And also, apparently you can unlock the cheats by simply getting a lot of kills in Deathmatch. I think you need to get 500 kills to get one ability, as I died. Good job. Might actually need to use a Giant Storm for this, because I've been fucking up a lot. So let's go ahead and do switcheroo. Yes, but considering that Turok Rage Wars was made for consoles in mind, I don't know if Night Dive is going to completely revamp the level designs to work with modern FPS design. I mean, they kind of did with, I don't know, they already revamped one section of Turok the Dinosaur Hunter, where they basically shoehorned in the Turok 3 design, which is kind of weird. I always thought that was really weird, because I never really played Turok 3, so I was kind of confused at that. But then I found out that they took that one part of Turok 3 where you go back to the Lost Land, and they just want to be cute and funny about it. It's really weird. And I have no idea what the hell to put in this slot, to be honest. I guess I'll just put Meteor Crash. I have Rise to Action, which basically, with the transformation, actually does restore your stamina. And it doesn't even cost anything, so it's even more broken than it sounds. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't really trust Night Dive because they've axed the multiplayer for various versions of Turok 2, all versions of Turok 3. They fucked up the dual multiplayer, so I'm kind of starting to lose faith in them, to be honest. I don't know who does the MSRP charts at Night Dive, but they seriously need to tweak some shit. Like, you're paying $10 for Quake 1 and 2, which has some really good quality, but then you have to pay $30 for Star Wars, I think, and Turok 3, which I don't understand. And I still don't know how people can actually justify the maybe. I didn't really think of that, to be honest, but I still understand how people can justify the solution for Bethesda's Night Dive Doom, excuse me, where you can just download Xandronum and just play multiplayer that way. Because totally downloading a mod for a game is a lot. It speaks volumes, I guess, or whatever. Even though people expect you to pay for another version of fucking Doom again. I don't remember if Giant Storm is as good as in Xenoverse 2 compared to this, but that legit is the bread and butter of breaking the AI. And with having maximum charge, which you normally have to either beat the game to buy from the shop or farm it in one of the more annoying parallel quests. Which, of course, I chose to farm the more annoying quests as I'm a stubborn fuck. It definitely pays off, as you can see. Essentially already having high damage and maybe sometimes getting a double KO. It's great. And you're mostly invincible during it, I believe. And especially the transformation, just get even more hyper armor, I guess. Like, Xenoverse 1 is bullshit, but the fact you can break it like a twig is probably counterintuitive, I guess. I bet there's someone out there just saying, oh, well, you can't use transformations as they break the game. Okay, then, so why have they never fixed it? Maybe it was an intentional design choice. I don't know. But the only reason that these particular parallel quests are annoying is the first time you do have to go at them solo. But then after you finish them and then come back to them, then you can bring your two little buddies and just wreck shit. But the first time you have to do it solo, which I can definitely understand why it was thing that was changed in Xenoverse 2. And at least making the AI not as bullshit. Which is definitely apparent. The AI in this game is just ridiculously fucked. But just doing this run, it pretty much circumvents most of the nonsense. Just that this mission just has a lot of enemies ganging up on you. In fact, this is running at 30 frames, so I'm going to probably piss somebody off. Which I could really care less about, but the fact that the PS4 and Xbox One versions do run at 30 frames that the PC version does is kind of stupid. It's like the one exception I'll make, and not in the standard way, and that it's bullshit that the console versions can't even run at 60, but the PC version can, when they're pretty much the same game otherwise. But whatever. 360 versions I can understand or whatever, but these should be running at 60. Thankfully, that was fixed in Xenoverse 2. Unless you're playing the next gen version, I think, where it actually does run a lot better. There we go. But yeah, probably the only way to get a proper Rage Wars port is that if someone does the thing like someone that ported Perfect Dark to PC. Other than that, I just cannot trust Night Dive anymore after how many ports they gotten away with re-releasing content and charging highway robbery for it. Oh, but nobody cared about the Turok 3 multiplayer, but you're still paying money for a product and you're okay with it removing content because it was barely played? Like, this isn't some JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle shit where they added a lot more compared to what was removed. Like, I've actually done some serious thinking. Like, the original release of the game had a story mode, I guess, if you want to call it that, where you kind of played for the events of the... Yeah, I think they're doing that Crazy Taxi. I'm going to go back to my rant for a second, though. But, like, I remember that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle had this story mode, I guess, but it was really lackluster because it only had very specific fights from the manga, and its story was presented about as well as Soul Calibur 5's, where it was just pictures, I guess, and not even just like the slideshow ever, but having still images with voiceovers and shit. I guess it was kind of cool that you got to play the other side of the coin, but that's about it. And that's how you actually got most of your unlocks, is playing the story mode. And then there was also the this other mode where you had to play if you want to unlock the various costumes just tied to a fucking online servers and shit, which is fucking stupid. But then we got All-Star Battle R, and no, not Battle Royale, thank God. It actually added a lot more compared to what was removed. So, in one of the few exceptions, despite them removing the story mode, I don't think there's any of the battles in that shit. Particularly when we have to fight Father Pucci, I think. That shit was fucking annoying. You're technically getting a lot more compared to what was removed, but you're not getting that with Turok 3, the remaster, where they take out the multiplayer, but you don't get really anything much besides having a proper Joshua Fireseed and a fully playable Raptor, I guess. Like, even if, yes, they did restore cut content, I just still don't think it's worth the price of that. I know it's a really old topic at this point, but still. My point is that even with the few quality of life changes or whatever, it doesn't excuse what Night Dive did to that game. It's if they're gonna remove the multiplayer mode for a game that nobody really played or whatever, they should have overhauled the fuck out of the game at least to make it really worth the money. Hell, maybe include Turok Rage Wars, I guess, as a bonus, I guess, while implementing the Turok 3 multiplayer modes, because I believe Turok 3 had a lot more modes to play compared to Rage Wars, where it was like Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, and Tag. That would have been sweet. That would have been worth it. It's like, okay, you're not getting the vanilla Turok 3 experience, but you're essentially getting a hybrid of the two. It'll be a lot more worth it than when 343 tried to do the same shit with Halo, where they basically axed the multiplayer of Halo Combat Evolved and instead snuck in a Halo Reach-themed DLC with levels from the original Halo, I guess, if that makes sense. It was fucking stupid. But no, people just swallow anything up, I guess, especially if it tickles their fancy enough. It's I was mentioning earlier how that one hit tweet I did where I mentioned that but Capcom needs to have Regina twerking while busting dinosaur caps, I guess, and some people took that literally to heart, and it just proves how fucking stupid people can be. It's like they don't care if the quality is good; they just want to get something. They just want to have their rocks, have something to get their rocks off to. I guess I don't know how the fuck to say it. But these are the same people who complain about the lack of Ashley panty shots in Resident Evil 4 Remake, or having the excuse of, well, Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster doesn't need the exotic or erotic screenshots, but who cares how terrible fucking Dino Crisis is, as long as you have Regina dressed up as a fucking slut while doing twerks and shit. Twerking and shooting dinosaurs. Technically, yes, it would be cool, but the gameplay needs to have, substance to it and shit. And I think that's something a lot of people really forget, to be honest. Like, legit. I think that's something that people really forget. The fan service is icing on the cake. If you don't have good gameplay, then you're not going to really get anything. Like, people want to crap on Samurai Kagura for being a shitty Musou game, but you're still getting a lot of value for the type of game that at least Xenoverse has to offer. Animal of a Sword isn't complete shit if you actually pay attention to it. And you don't even have to really, watch or play the other games to kind of understand the themes the game has going for it. But people look at it as a shitty beach OVA themed game with the actual context of the game and shit. Not gonna really spoil too much about it, but there's this one sequence in the game where the characters basically have to, saying their final goodbyes to other characters and shit. It's not like, The Last of Us, Metal Gear Solid, Emmy Award winning or anything, but it's still something that can be relatable to a point. If you actually think about it for more than 5 minutes. I know there's a lot of decently made free-to-play games that don't have a lot of microtransaction bullshit, but I still rather play Xenoverse than play something like Z3, Genshin Impact, or anything, because if I'm going to be playing those types of games, I'd rather pay for a service I can play forever compared to having it be tied to an online service that may or may not be available when I want to play it. Which, even the chance that is low, it's still a thing that can very much happen. Not to mention, you can legit farm the money in Xenoverse with pretty much no effort. So, it's not the most annoying grind out there for a game like it. And the actual loot boxes, quote unquote, actually can kind of make a difference, since essentially you're getting various underwear for your waifus and shit. So it's not a complete waste of time. But even that game at least can kind of take itself a little bit seriously compared to Fire Force, where it's just, even when the game wants to be even when the anime wants to be serious, it just kind of takes itself it takes itself way too seriously, I guess. It's kind of like people don't like Gears of War in a certain way. I just find the game boring, to be honest. The game drains me emotionally in a way that's not healthy. And partly that is due to just how many games that came out emulating it ever since. It has the exact same problems as the original Halo 2, where you have the one single-player campaign, you have the co-op to maybe make the game better, and then a multiplayer mode you can't even play against bots. And of course, there's the DLC too to boot. Oh, you can't unlock new levels? Buy it as DLC, and then of course you get a whole ass expansion to the PC version of the game, which requires Games for Windows Live, which is basically DRM hell for people who actually bought their games. But sure, Gears of War is the most revolutionary third-person series of all time because it basically appeals to gore and muscle extravaganzas, I guess. I don't know. I can't think of the word right now. I'm legitimately getting my ass kicked. A lot. Like, I'm too annoyed at the rant and shit I've been doing. Oh, Skyrim, that's cool. I personally find Skyrim boring. I wouldn't call it bad, but there's just something about Skyrim that I can't click with compared to Fallout. Even playing Fallout 4, I can kind of get lost for a while. But whenever I try to play Skyrim, I don't get that same energy. There's just something about Skyrim that I just can't, like, really comprehend. I can't put a time sink into Skyrim compared to Fallout. Which is kind of a shame because they're basically more or less the same, I guess. Except one has Dungeons and Dragons and the other is a post-apocalyptic world with first-person shooting mechanics, I guess, if that makes sense. Yeah, I wouldn't say Skyrim's a bad game. It's just I don't know. I'm more of a Fallout person, but I could see them both being decent time sinks. It's just I just prefer playing Fallout for some reason. I'm sure there's a lot of bullshit glitches in Skyrim, but it's just I don't know. I can't really get into the Skyrim setting, I guess. Maybe Oblivion Morrowind might be better, but there's just something about Skyrim that I just never really clicked with. But being a single-player game through and through, it's definitely something that people should be playing more compared to Fortnite. Since, well, I don't really want to get into that, but it's, I don't know, it's just a really weird situation, honestly, but it's, I can see Skyrim being decent, but I just personally prefer Fallout. Now, if I were to post it on Blue Sky, I'd probably be banned for life. I would get like an IP ban. Because, you know, God forbid I have a fucking opinion. Anyway, I finally beat that shit. It took a lot longer than I'd like. Unironically, using, that move, Giant Storm, had more success compared to using the actual broken ability. But yeah, that's basically the meta of this game as far as PvE goes. Just legit spam Giant Storm. And then once you get the Super Vegeta, because Super Vegeta actually enhances ki damage, while Super Saiyan enhances melee damage. But they still both have the same infinite ki usage as long as your guard doesn't get broken or some shit, or of course it runs out. Also, for a reason, the only starting ability that lets you start with the charge is the one where it says keeping a blast or whatever. I honestly don't know. I know people said the Blue Hurricane is good, but I personally didn't get any results of this, so I just stuck to Giant Storm. And plus, you made it really early on, too. The only problem is that you have to, it's not this one, I think it's, yeah, the only problem is that you have to clear this mission under 5 minutes, and because of how the game's ultimate finishes are, being completely based on RNG, I actually ended up buying the DLC, which is actually on sale, and going through it as Super Saiyan God Super Vegeta, and then just destroying Nappa and then getting the ability after maybe I think a couple attempts. So like I said, the RNG is very unfavorable. There's actually a lot of characters that did not make it into this game that are unplayable for some reason. Like, you have Cell's first form that's not playable. Of course, you have Demigra, who isn't playable at all. It's, I assume unlocking the various forms have to go for the parallel quests and stuff. These characters are DLC, I believe, from New Over the Ice. And of course, these fuckers. Apparently you have to wish for the other characters. I think it's Super 17, Omega Shenron, and I think one other character, I forget his name. I don't know who that lost character is, but I'm not really certain. Can't really think of it right now. I know one of the characters actually was legit locked to a pre-order bonus you can't ever get again. And I think it's Vegeta's Super Saiyan 4 version, the monkey one. It's not even part of the season pass, which is bullshit. There's also these 2 extra pieces of armor that you can get, which I think is the gold armor and the crystal armor, which, to be fair, they're not as good compared to the stuff you get later on, but you're essentially missing out on the complete roster because you didn't pre-order this game back in 2014. I forget when this game came out. I think it was 2013 or 2014. I forget. I know this is how you don't play of Dragon Ball Xenoverse, featuring the most innovative Let's Player of all time registered trademark. But he was really mad in that game. I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball. It's Shenron, even though it's not even fucking Shenron. Anyway, let's see. I'm not really sure what to play, to be honest. I'll try to find something, I guess. I'll do something on the PS3, I guess. Haven't played Red Dead Redemption in a while, so I'll probably do that, I guess. Unless, of course, it's something you'd rather see me play. Or going through GTA 4 would be decent too, but it's... I personally have not touched Red Dead Redemption in a while. Would like to get to the city part at least, so I can get the explosive rifle legit. Here it is. Here we go. Alright, as a wise Duke once said, time to set the record straight. Finally got the 10-foot long USB cable for the PS3. Anyway, has the Discord pinging messages worked for live streaming? Because I know that when I edit the title, it says the channel is going to be live soon, and then when I change it from unlisted to public, it says this channel is now live. Alright, here we go. Red Dead Redemption cowboy game. Okay, good. Glad to hear it. But yeah, I didn't feel like grinding on stream with GT Online, and plus I'd rather play a good game that's not tainted by DEI, whatever the fuck that means. So I'm going to be playing the original Red Dead Redemption. Of course, the Game of the Year edition, which on the PS3 version, it's all in one disc, which is good. Which is kind of an annoying issue with the Xbox 360 version, where one disc is the single player, and the second disc is the expansion plus the multiplayer. So technically the PS3 version is the complete package, but unfortunately it's not backwards compatible. But yeah, I'm gonna basically try to go for the missions as quickly as possible, and I'm gonna piss off every Dark Souls fandom in the world, or even Swegta. Actually, just give me a second. Shit. And yes, there's the Warhorse, I think it's called. All right. Alright, you might want to cover your eyes to this. I'm going to do something that's going to really piss off people. Oh my god, you're fast traveling! You're... And I have fucking anxiety attacks over such retarded nonsense. And no, it's not in Red Dead Redemption 2. Or, technically it was, but it wasn't until the game got a major update. And you could only travel to specific towns and shit. It was really fucking stupid. Ah, shit. Come back between 5 and 6. That sucks. Oh, might as well save my game while I'm here, I guess. But yeah, what is up with people who will defend the fact that you have to tap the button to sprint? Like, what sense does that make? You're playing a video game. You're not running the Olympics. I don't get people. Oh, you're sprinting, so you have to give your thumbs a workout. Well, I clearly remember in GTA 3 where if you held down the button, you could only sprint for a couple seconds. So if you tapped it, you technically got infinite sprint. I'd much rather have the tapping the button for infinite sprint than the other way around, if that makes sense. I think it was an oversight by Rockstar. I don't think it was intentional. Just gonna assume that. Because I think it was changed or fixed, quote unquote, in the mobile version that was ported for consoles and was really shitty for obvious reasons. Alright, I guess I'll go back to the other settlement, I guess. But yeah, I'm sure you probably know of this, but you actually can use the campfires as a fast travel mechanic if you don't feel like riding around God's creation. And unlike in Red Dead Redemption 2, which is technically not a sequel, much like how Doom 3 is not a sequel to Doom 2, but nobody wants to talk about that shit. It actually is a lot better to ride horses in this game, since it's not like riding a fucking bike in Grand Theft Auto. But yeah, this is the thing that like people get pissed off as if you fast travel on games. Like I don't get it. Like why are people so triggered over like a legitimate game convenience? Like who are these people that are getting that have guns pointed at their head saying if you don't fast travel, you're not playing the game correctly or whatever. These people would love Just Cause 3 because in that game you actually have to earn your fast travels, but it's not like Grand Theft Auto, so it sucks. It has to be a Grand Theft Auto game or else it's terrible. So basically people view something like Saints Row, I guess. And I'm going to skip the cutscenes, so Tech already gone for this game. So hopefully you don't mind. But yeah, I like how if you have the gambler's outfit, I forget what it's called, the high roller's outfit, you actually still tip people. It's just that John Marston doesn't have a hat on, so he just kind of moves his arm in the air like he's tipping. The invisible hat tipping animation. So that's funny. One thing that is also kind of bullshit with this game is that you have to get the Game of the Year edition if you want to get the hardcore mode. Like, imagine how fucked that is. Like, you actually really like playing a game so much, but then you have to buy it a second time just to get the hardcore difficulty mode. Like, people got pissed off at Metro last night, I think, for having DLC for difficulty, but nobody batted an eye at Zelda Breath of the Wild, even though it did exactly the same thing. It even had a separate save slot for Hero Mode, or whatever it was called. Nintendo did the exact same thing, nobody batted a fucking eye at it. It was fucking stupid. And I don't think even this game, back when it was originally released, I don't even think that the hardcore mode was DLC in itself. Like, you had to get the Game of the Year edition to get the hardcore mode. Not to pull Retro Review Tech USA for a minute, but can you imagine if Mayo actually played this game? I can't believe that I have to buy the game a second time to play this version. The game that's supposed to be hard as hell. This fucking Resident Evil 2 video was really stupid, by the way. That was like some really, really stupid shit. But I'm not really get into that because it would be negative. I don't want to be negative, but it was. Just basically imagine the dude going on about how a game that he wanted to play back in the day was tarnished because he had to do school and shit. That's how it came off to me. It was really fucking stupid. It reminds me of the dude who got pissed off at Halo Master Chief Collection because Halo 3 MCC, or whatever, the Halo 3 port for Halo Master Chief Collection, came out a few days earlier and you didn't get to play it or whatever. It's like, dude, you're getting a chance to play the game earlier, and it's not like you had to go to a fucking funeral or some shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the actual fuck? It also just seems like to me that Mayo back in his infancy or whatever, or youth or whatever, didn't get good grades at school, so he couldn't play the video games that he wanted to, and that for some reason means that Resident Evil 2 is the his least favorite in the series because of childhood trauma. It's fucking retarded. Like, 2016 was not a good year for me personally, but that doesn't make Doom 2016 any less of a piece of shit. It just means that there was a lot of shit to deal with in 2016, but after having played Doom 2016, the game's a piece of shit. And no personal demons I had to deal with back then is going to make me like or hate the game any more or less. It just means the game is a piece of shit. But yeah, coincidentally enough, that video just reminded me of Rich's dating nightmare stories, where it's just so unbelievable it's not even funny. I couldn't get good grades in school, and I was taught shit that I already knew, but I just wanted to be at home and play Resident Evil 2. Like, what the fuck? It's so bad. Like, I was like... I was like Andy Worski for a minute when I was watching that shit. It's like... This happened? This didn't fucking happen. Like, come the fuck on. But yeah, that was really stupid. That video was really fucking stupid. Probably already talked about that, though, but I'm just like... It's just unfathomably stupid. But yeah, the fast travel in this game is actually really good. Like, legitimately. Like, it's even better than what GTA 4 did, and the fact you can pretty much do it from anywhere really makes this game a lot more bearable to replay. But some people see it as a bad thing for some fucking reason. It's like I mentioned earlier with the icing on the cake order. Like, you still got a great foundation for a game or whatever, and it's not like you're penalized, you have to unlock it or anything like in Just Cause 3, so just use it if you want. Like, you're going through a game again and again, so why not have a thing that lets you enjoy the game even more? I don't know. It'd be like if you're playing Metal Gear Solid, you couldn't skip any of the fucking cutscenes. I think people would be kind of annoyed at that. What the hell? Oh, I guess to wait at night, I guess. Okay. It's the second time I've been blue-balled by Bonnie McFarlane. What the fuck? But what actual criticism I do of this game regardless, though, is that whenever characters speak a different different language, the game still has the darkened text like in Grand Theft Auto 4, but the developers decided not to translate that shit. I don't know why there's no setting that lets you change that shit. I just find that really annoying. Like, I know that in GTA 4 there was, Dimitri, I think. No, not Dimitri Monroe. No, not that fucker. And certainly not Dimitri Maximoff from, Darkstalkers, but there are some characters in GTA 4 that spoke different languages, but you could tell they were speaking different languages because the subtitles were darkened, but they still had English writing so that people who were playing the game could understand it. But in this game or whatever, they still do that, but they actually have the characters, the subtitles actually have their proper language. Is just like kind of annoying. What the fuck? I think it's 1 a.m. I think. It has to be. Yeah, good old Red Dead Nightmare, yes. I actually have not played it, but I hear people compare it to San Andreas' what the hell is it called? The Gang Territories or some shit. But at least it's not as bad as in Walking Dead Episode 2, and I know that sounds like a really shitty condiment comparison, but just hear me out for a minute. There's a bit where you're being attacked by these enemy Russians, I guess, and no, it's not Call of Duty. Telltale was so fucking broke on translation is that every time a character spoke Russian, the subtitles would just say "speaking Russian." It was some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen in a video game, where they couldn't even bother translating character dialogue in a video game that is based on a very popular IP that is still ongoing, I think. Imagine you're watching The Godfather, and every time a character is speaking Italian, the subtitle just says "speaking Italian." Like, how fucking stupid. It's, that's just some really shitty, translation, budgets, honestly. And I'm not even making it up. Like, I remember when the game was new, and I actually watched a long play of it, because playing the game is not really interesting. Only the first one was really any good, even though it is true how people say that none of your choices really matter. But it still is an interesting story, I guess, if we're gonna, enjoy it for what it is or whatever the fuck. But like, every time a foreign character spoke in that game, and it was Russians, I guess, because I guess they're the bad guys. The game just says "speaking Russian." It was insanely dumb. Basically, yes. And while it is good that Rockstar actually had proper language translations in this game, I much prefer how they had it in GTA 4, where if you had the subtitles set to on or whatever, you could actually see what the character is saying, like Dimitri. But I guess in this game, they decided to have any foreign character having their foreign subtitles. It was kind of annoying. There's not even an option to have anything like that. Yeah, I also disable autosave because I'm a hardcore game player. But yeah, there's subtitles on and off, but for whatever reason, it's there's no option to change that shit where you can have it for foreign speakers or having translated foreign language or anything. It's really stupid. I'm actually kind of curious if there's a setting for that in the PS4, Switch, and PC re-releases of 1/3 of the game that is... okay, I'm sorry, not 1/3. 2/3 of a game that is Red Dead Redemption. The complete edition, quote-unquote. Because that is something that always annoyed me with this game, is that you have characters who speak different foreign languages, it's fine, but GTA 4 literally had that problem solved to a T by having the characters' subtitles be translated to English when they were talking. And Rockstar kind of went backwards a little bit. So, I always found it to be a little annoying. But it's definitely not as bad as it was in the much later game, The Walking Dead Season 2, I think. I think it was Season 2. I think Season 3 had that really stupid twist that I just found really cliche as hell. And then, wait, what the fuck? Okay, I thought this said No Nut November for some fucking reason on this title, on the legend. Like, what the fuck? It's like, no, I just legitimately misread that shit. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can actually fast travel back. Oh no, I'm using fast travel. I'm an asshole. The game is ruined now because I'm fast traveling. Oh no. How dare you fast travel in a video game? You're always supposed to be riding a horse. The game is called Red Dead Redemption, not Stagecoach Redemption. Don't you... Funny enough, San Andreas actually had some form of fast travel with the airport, which is technically realistic, but some people would be pissed at that. There we go. Basically, yes. Also, I remember one of my ex-friends got into a legitimate argument about how Darksiders 3 didn't have the same warping mechanisms that people got pissed off at Dark Souls 2 over. And only Dark Souls 3, even though Dark Souls 3 literally copied that shit verbatim. really don't like Darksiders 3 at all. It's just a really shitty carbon copy Souls-like. And I imagine that Darksiders 4, if we get it, will just be multiverses and zombie cliches, I guess. That plays like God of War 2018. That is also a Souls-like, because I guess it's what people like, I guess. I think the first game played like a classic God of War game, and the second one played a lot like a Zelda game. More specifically, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, or Ocarina, however you say it. I don't know what the fuck. Can't think right now, I'm too annoyed. And then Darksiders 3 just basically plays like a Souls-like, and I got extremely annoyed at it. And you also play as a woman, too, which means the game is woke. It's like, even if people really dig the Dark Souls gameplay, games like Darksiders that legit rip off the fast zone mechanic cannot be argued or denied. Your tears of denial is not working against this one argument, sir. You might want to step it back a little bit. It's oh no, it's just ridiculous bullshit. It's also kind of ironic coming from me, who actually does like Saints Row 3 and 4, but I can definitely argue that Saints Row 4 is basically the same game. Even though it does have a number of improvements, if you want to call it, but it is basically the same fucking game. I would say it's different enough to warrant playing if you really like that gameplay style, but I'm not gonna act like Saints Row 4 is a completely unique experience. It's basically the same fucking game. The only difference is it hasn't been milked like with fucking Pokemon or Call of Duty or any sports game as of late. So it's But the same people want to act like Elden Ring is a completely new experience, even though it's whatever. I don't know. We ask that you have critical thinking. Oh, no, wait, not like that. Okay. Like, even the Blast of Master Zero games, more or less, are... Okay, I wouldn't say they're the same games entirely, but they do evolve from the games that have started from... What the fuck is it? That started off as basically a remake of the original game on the NES, but then evolved into its own thing that still has that classic gameplay that people liked, but even that game just has annoying-ass issues that would be crucified if it were in other games, I guess. Or given a pass, whatever, depending on who you speak to, I guess. I love how one of the early missions in this game literally has you doing a race with the horses. I guess Rockstar really wanted to show off just how awesome their horseback riding is. So they make you do a race against a woman. How woke. This game is woke as fuck. You can actually tip your hat to females, that's woke as sin. It's kind of sad that even games like Goodbye Volcano High actually has character designs and character personalities that don't feel as pencil push compared to stuff like Dragon Age Veilguard. But that's kind of a really low bar to set, to be honest. Ridiculously overpriced visual novel, by the way. And it was also released on console, too. Gross. Whoa. I don't know if any of the exchanges are missable. I kind of forgot those, to be honest. I think there are some that you can miss. Oh yeah, I almost got to look something up, actually. I was going on about Ultra Kill and shit. I'm actually going to see if it's still early access. Ultra Kill, Steam. And then Red Dead Redemption, missable, whatever the fuck. Oh look, the game is still in early access and its normal sale price is $25. I don't even think the game is finished yet, and they're still charging fucking ridiculous money for this fucking Devil May Cry Modern Doom hybrid shit. With a community that's even more fucking annoying than Modern Doom, to be honest. And no, Mayo's review, unfortunately, is not justifiable, honestly. He kind of had a point in God of War and maybe Resident Evil 3, but not Ultra Kill. That shit was so fucking goddamn professional, it's not even funny. Need to finish the game in order to get a positive review, otherwise very good. And they're all early access, dude. Like, when is this game actually going to be playable? This game's been out since September of 2020. This game's going to be almost as old as Doom Eternal, and it's still not even fucking finished. Even Doom Eternal was a complete product, I guess. This game is not. That's fucking sad. Even Streets of Rage 4 is more of a complete package than this shit. Like, I was going on about how the dude who legitimately did not know that John Romero left Doom, or id Soft or whatever, and instead of me wasting my time playing Doom on console, because I guess it's a bad thing, I guess, is to expand my horizons and play other games like it, I guess. You know, something like, you know, if you don't like Capcom releasing Resident Evil, play Daymare 1998 or some shit. Even though there's cases like Ultra Kill where you can essentially get away with releasing basically a demo for $25, publishers like Nicholas just giving Activision a run for its fucking money, or showing games like Escape from Tarkov being really overpriced fucking alphas, I guess, or closed betas or whatever the fuck. So it's just like, not even the lower studio that shit is like safe from just actual bad businesses or whatever. So I don't understand the point of just downloading a multiplayer mod for Doom, excuse me, and then acting like everything's fucking sunshines and rainbows when fucking Bethesda is having Night Dive port Doom yet again, but actually axing the thing that is still limited even on your fucking precious PC. That's why mods don't fix everything, dude. Like, even if Fallout is objectively more enjoyable with mods, or even something like Skyrim, the game still has to hold on its own first. That's why, unironically enough, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is held as one of the greatest games of its time, but the mods make the game enhanced, but even without those, you're still getting a great game. Like, I just don't understand how people can be so simplistically arrogant. But whatever. Like, damn, this dude assumed that I was censoring on games because I care, even though I put censoring, not censoring, but whatever. And then it just goes into, well, you're playing Doom on consoles, that's probably why, even though my whole point is that the multiplayer levels are axed on every fucking version, and yet, even some of the levels that were axed can still be played without having levels be ridiculously bloated, like Map 29 from Doom 2 or whatever. I don't think that would make a good multiplayer level, but people forget that those levels did have multiplayer set, in a way. It's not like how a lot of shooters have it, where they take parts of a level and turn it to multiplayer, like how GoldenEye did it. Like, you can play something like... what the fuck is it? I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, Doom levels are made very differently, with both single player and multiplayer in mind. And even the same can be said for Quake. It also doesn't help that Night Dive legitimately ported Doom onto modern systems, however, and they also did that for Quake, but yet when they did Quake, none of the multiplayer levels are axed. But when they did Doom, they decided to have a select number of levels be playable. Go cry to Bethesda, however. Okay, the people just say, "Oh, you can't blame you can't blame the publisher. They're just the publisher." But let's get pissed off at Activision every time they fucking do anything with video games ever. Okay. You can't get mad at From Software. Or no, you can't get mad at Bandai Namco for how Elden Ring turned out. They're just the publisher, even though they make a lot of decisions that ultimately tarnish the series as a whole with their whole prepare to die shtick that basically ruined the series forever. The fuck ever. Fuck, I meant to do that. I'm just saying people don't know how to fucking use Daemon Tools Lite, by the way. How do I use Daemon Tools Lite? Yeah, if you don't know how to use Daemon Tools Lite, you shouldn't even be playing video games. I'm sorry. It's, there's a lot of shit that I don't know personally, but I'm not gonna... There are some things that I think people should know. Especially your fucking PC does not have a fucking disk drive. Yeah, sorry for my rants and tangents, I guess. It's I just can't help myself. I have tangentitis, I guess. Every time I talk about something, I end up completely subverting my expectations, I guess, and I get pissed off at myself. It's not like I care about the things I'm playing, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, definitely after New Year's, I am gonna definitely resume my Dark Souls 3 runs. Gotta really lock on to that shit. I don't want to have another fucking abandoned project that could actually be of interest, I guess. But yeah, hopefully 2025 will start off pretty well. Already lost good old Jimmy Carter at the end of the year. So maybe Medicare might be next. How do I know? I don't know. It just seems like random ass coincidences. I'm getting shot like a bitch. This game also isn't generating health, which is kind of annoying, but at least you have an item that you can use while the game is paused to restore your health, I guess, so it's not completely annoying. Not really a fan of it, but at least you can use items to heal your fucking Wild Western X Factor, I guess. And while the game is paused too, thankfully. I think this is the area I remember actually doing a pretty nasty exploit. We can basically call your horse and it would end up falling into a ditch, and it would count as stockpiling on horse meat for one of the challenges you have to do to unlock an outfit. It feels really fucked, but it's actually one of the few ways we can basically keep on using the warhorse voucher, but you don't lose karma for killing your own horse through accidental means, I guess. Well, technically, yes, you are killing the horse because you didn't technically shoot it, I guess. You're not going to lose any honor, I guess. I think the area's in Mexico, though, I think. I think there's some spot in Mexico I remember exploiting that. I don't know exactly where, though, but I know there's a spot where there's like this cliff where you can call your horse, and I guess it falls to such a great height that it ends up dying because you didn't directly kill it. You don't lose any karma. You can basically get a bunch of horse meat, which you can also sell for money, too. As I almost end up falling myself. It's a thing you can sell, I don't remember, but it's a very interesting little exploit that people will call cheese, I guess. That's also another thing, too, I want to mention really quick. There's this dude who, I guess it's this dude who does restreams of other people who made this site on plays or whatever. I guess it's okay, but one of the videos, ironically enough, is him enduring Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. And I guess the person who made the video, I guess any time that DSP found a combo, I guess the person who made the video considered cheesing. And it's like, first of all, the game is designed in such a way that doing infinite or whatever isn't exactly game-breaking compared to fighting a boss in Dark Souls, so what the fuck? Like, I just don't get this mentality of any time that you remotely get an edge in the game is considered cheesing. Like, I fucking hate that shit. Like, you can apply this to pretty much any game, really. Like, oh, in Grand Theft Auto, I'll do Grand Theft Auto, I guess. Oh, you use the paint spray when you're supposed to be running away from the cops after blowing up the mall, whatever. Oh, you're cheesing the game. It's like, first of all, it's not a cheese. It's literally an intended game mechanic where you use a paint spray to get the FBI off your ass. Or DSP doing a combo with his created Majin character in Xenoverse 2, I guess. And it's like, oh, look, DSP's cheesing the game. It's like, yeah, because using a low-tier combo, I think it's a melee move into some beam move, which isn't really a vital touch of death, I guess if you want to call it. It's like, it's not cheesing the same way as throwing fucking dung pies outside the boss arena with the Capra Demon in Dark Souls 1. Like, people really... Oh, shit, I actually shot the horse, fuck. People really misconstrue cheesing. It's really fucking stupid. I can't stand that about the DSP detractors of some. Is that anytime that Phil does something remotely whatever, that it's considered cheesing or whatever the fuck. I don't know. It's just really stupid shit. I think there was one bit that people were looking forward to, though, when he replayed Vice City, is that when he was doing that mission I mentioned with where you have to go into the mall and blow up a coffee shop, I think. You have to escape the FBI, and I guess someone told him that... I guess someone told him that you can just go to a page to write the cops off you. It's like... Technically, yes, the stream chat holding his hand is annoying, but it's still a completely valid way of beating the mission. It's just that freaking Phil can't even think to do this shit on his own because, well, he's kind of stupid sometimes, like I am. It's just fucking stupid. I don't know. But I don't think there's any really reason to have negative honor in this game. I think it's even harder to actually get compared to like doing evil shit, I guess. It's kind of weird. I think this game also lets you replay missions. I'm not sure. So actually one of the actual improvements of this is that you can actually replay missions. I think. Yeah, this game actually let you replay missions, which technically, I guess technically, GTA 4, the Ballada Gay Tony was the first game to let you replay missions. Or at least the first, I don't know if that came first or Red Dead Redemption. I really can't think right now. It was probably that game, but I'm pretty sure this is like the other game actually lets you replay missions, which is definitely good because I'm sure there's a lot of great missions in this game, but GTA games not letting you replay missions is kind of a crime. Apparently, Elon Musk is so much of a fucking pussy that he can't even play through Grand Theft Auto games because he has to shoot the police. Particularly with Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, how fucking cucked is the man who essentially runs the Abyss that he can't even fucking shoot fucking polygon cops in a video game? Like, how fucking cucked is that man? I'll extort people for money, but I have such high morals I can't even shoot cops in a video game, dude. Like, come the fuck on. And really, of all the games, Grand Theft Auto 5, that's the game that you have to put your morale check in. Like, really? Grand Theft Auto 5? The game that literally has you starting off by robbing some place or some shit? Like, really? This dude is stupid. Richest man in America can't even handle playing GTA 5 but have no problems committing real crimes in real life. How fucking retarded. Oh wow. But yeah, let me check up on the Stranger Thing really quick. Here we go. Oh, I think this is for Red Dead Redemption 2. Shit. Okay. I gotta use the bathroom. Probably gonna get off after. Ugh. Okay, I'm just gonna check up one more thing. I guess I'll go save, and I'm gonna get off, actually. So, let me check the calendar. Gonna take a couple of days off from this. I'll probably come back in a week. But I'm gonna go through the New Year's Eve shit, the New Year's Day. Then, as it's still the new month, we're gonna be busy as usual. So I'll probably resume camp on the 6th, which is kind of a ironic date considering the real world in that manner, but it's a mere coincidence. But I feel that's a good point to start doing these again. But hopefully by then I'll have some idea of what to do for next time, and definitely have projects that will be worked on, I guess. And of course, having a new playlist for the sessions of new. All right. I guess I'll see what this guy wants, I guess. Didn't want anything, I guess. I guess it was a dual request. Alright, whatever. Well, I'm gonna save my game, I guess. Could probably mess around in Retro Arch and then go to bed.